Hi, I'm Tash. Welcome to Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be my March TBR. I cannot believe we're almost in March. This is insane. How quickly is this year going? So once again, as usual, I am going to play my TBR game and I'm going to pick 8 prompts. So here's the board. Once again, my little Eeyore counter is going to be starting there. And then I'm going to use 2 dice because I think that just adds a little bit more excitement to the game. The board once again has 5 different colors that I can land on, and each of those corresponds to those different piles of cards. There are 2 bookworm games spots, and if I land on those, then I pull out my bookworm game and use that for prompts. So let's begin with our first roll, and that is an 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's a red card, and that is a loved author. Awesome. So I get to pick a book written by an author that I know I already love. So for loved author, I'm going to go with Daughter of the Empire by Raymond Feist and Janny Wirtz. I have recently read quite a lot of Raymond Feist. I read Magician and the 2 sequels to that particular series and absolutely adored the writing. I am loving Raymond E. Feist, and I'm very keen to continue the whole Rift War cycle, saga, whatever the whole story is called. And so this is going to be my loved author pick. The synopsis for this is: Mara, the youngest child of the ancient and noble Akoma family, is about to take her pledge of servitude to the goddess Lashima when the ceremony is disrupted by news of her father and brother's death in battle. Despite her grief as the only surviving member of her house, Mara must now take up the mantle of ruling lady. But she soon discovers betrayal at the heart of her family's loss, and the Akoma's enemies have brought her house to the brink of utter destruction. So for what I believe, this is another perspective on the events in the first Magician trilogy. I'm all for it. I love the world building by Raymond E. Feist. Second roll. Ooh, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just missed out on bookworm game. That gives me a blue card, and that is published in 2021. Awesome. Okay, that should be easy to find. For published in 2021, I'm going to go with Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson. This, I believe, is a debut novel, and I've heard amazing things about it. The synopsis says, long ago, the Lord Adwell emerged from the deserts of the Holy Land, possessed of divine powers. He used these to forcibly unite the peoples of Angol before his ascension to heaven. Over 800 years later, in a medieval world which is threatened by war and religious persecution, 4 young men and women begin to develop supernatural abilities. These forbidden and secret powers will shatter the lives that they have known and will force each of them to confront the mystery of the ethereal gate which haunts their dreams. What does the dream mean, and how is it connected to their burgeoning abilities? This sounds great. It is, I believe, going to be part of a series, and the second one has only recently come out. So I'm super keen to start this. I do have it on Kindle, and so therefore I'm always keen to have some books on Kindle in my TBR, because the Kindle is really portable and easy to read at night as well, and I like to have a bit of a choice. Third roll is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a green card. I'm really going for all the colors. And this one is a text or pattern. So that would mean that on the cover, instead of having a picture, an illustration, there will be text or pattern only. For text or pattern on the cover, I am going to pick another Kindle read, and this one is The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. Once again, I've heard some pretty cool things about this one. It is the first in a trilogy. The synopsis says, Maya, the youngest half-goblin son of the emperor, has lived his entire life in exile, distant from the imperial court and the deadly intrigue that suffuses it. But when his father and 3 sons in line for the throne are killed in an accident, he has no choice but to take his place as the only surviving rightful heir. Entirely unschooled in the art of court politics, he has no friends, no advisors, and the sure knowledge that whoever assassinated his father and brothers could make an attempt on his life at any moment. Surrounded by sycophants, eager to curry favor with the naive new emperor, and overwhelmed by the burdens of his new life, he can trust nobody. Amid the swirl of plots to depose him, offers of arranged marriages, and the specter of the unknown conspirators who lurk in the shadows, he must quickly adjust to life as the Goblin Emperor. Now, I've heard that this is actually quite cozy as well, and the characterization is awesome. I'm looking forward to this one quite a lot. And roll number 4 is an 8. I'm doing a lot of 8s and 9s, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just missed out on Bookworm Game again. And another blue card. And this one is a dark cover. So I have to pick a book that has a dark colored cover or represents dark in some way. For a dark cover, I am going to pick Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Not only does it actually have dark colors on the cover, but it's also got the word dark. So I think that's a pretty good choice, and it's a book I've been wanting to read for quite some time. So this is a science fiction novel. So the synopsis says, are you happy in your life? Those are the last words Jason Destin hears before the masked abductor knocks him unconscious. Before he awakes, they find himself strapped to a gurney, surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits. Before the man he's never met smiles down at him and says, welcome back. In this world he's woken up to, Jason's life is not the one he knows. His wife is not his wife. His son was never born, and Jason is not an ordinary college physics professor. Is it this world or the other that's the dream? The answer lies in a journey more wondrous and horrifying than anything Jason could have imagined. So this sounds like a very edge of your seat, quirky sci-fi with big ideas. I'm all for it. Number 5 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a gold. And, so I have to pick a book whose title does not include the words the, a, an, off, or and. So that could be challenging. Let's see what we can find. So for the no, the, an, off, or and prompt, I had to pick a title that didn't have any of those words in it. And so I've gone with Weaponized by Neil Asher. Once again, another sci-fi, which I'm super excited to read because look, it's got like pterodactyls in it. And anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with dinosaurs. I know, I'm too old to be obsessed with dinosaurs, but that's okay. The synopsis for this one is Ursula has lived 2 human lifespans courtesy of the latest technology. Now she's struggling to find excitement and purpose, so signs up to the Polity's military. She excels in weapons development, but after botching a powerful new ammunition test, she's dismissed from service. Hunting for a simpler, more meaningful existence, the ex-soldier heads for the stars. After founding a colony on the hostile planet of Threpsis, Ursula finally feels alive. Then deadly raptors attack and the colonists are forced to adapt in unprecedented ways. Yet how could the polity miss these apex predators? They lead biophysicist Oren to form his own survival plan, one he'll pursue at any cost. A desperate battle erupts, which consumes the planet, and Ursula finds she must dig deep into her past to ensure humanity's future. It sounds very, very exciting. It is part of a bigger polity world, and I haven't actually read any Neil Asher, but from what I have found out, I can read this as a standalone, and so I am super, super excited to read this one. It's a fairly new acquisition because I received it for Christmas as a gift, and so yeah, I am super, super excited for this one. Can't wait. And number 6 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another blue card. And this one is a light cover. Oh my gosh. This is a very cover heavy book. It's all the superficial things, publications, color of covers, titles. There's not much just about the actual type of book you're looking at. For light cover, I'm going to pick another Kindle read, and this is The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. The majority of the cover looks light, so I'm happy with that. It's not meant to be quite a light read though, but I've heard amazing things about it. The description for this one is: a mysterious library contains the secrets of the universe in a visionary fantasy with elements of dark academia. I love this. Visionary fantasy, dark academia, mysterious library, secrets of the universe. These are all buzzwords for me. Super, super excited. So Carolyn's not so different from the other people around her. She likes guacamole and cigarettes and steak. She knows how to use a phone. Clothes are a bit tricky, but everyone says nice things about her outfit with the Christmas sweater over the gold bicycle shorts. After all, she was a normal American herself once. That was a long time ago, of course, but before she and the others were taken on by the man they called father. In the years since then, Carolyn hasn't had a chance to get out much. Instead, she and her adopted siblings have studied the books in his library and learned some of the secrets of his power. And sometimes they've wondered if their cruel tutor might secretly be God. Now, father is missing, perhaps even dead, and the library that holds his secrets stands unguarded, and with it control over all of creation. This sounds quite gothic. It seems to have horror elements to it. It's genre busting in some way, fantasy, but then also seems to have some sci-fi elements. I'm not sure. I don't know much about it. I actually don't want to know any more about that because it sounds like it's going to be an intriguing and riveting read. Number 7 is, okay, an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a nice red one, and that represents winter. So any book that represents winter on the cover or elicits feelings of cold or winter or has anything to do with winter in the title or cover. And for winter, I'm going to pick a book that has snow on the cover, and that is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This is a YA book, I believe. This is meant to be sort of like a fairy tale retelling. So Princess Shiora Anima has a secret. Forbidden magic runs in her veins until she loses control on the morning of her unwanted betrothal and is discovered by her stepmother. A sorcerer in her own right, her stepmother banishes Shiori, transforming her brothers into cranes and warning her that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. But as Shiori searches for her brothers, she uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. To save her kingdom, she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to contain, no matter what it costs. I got this on my birthday, which is months ago now, and I've been really wanting to read it. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, and it sounds like it's going to be a really fun read. And the last roll is a 9 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's a silver. That means I've represented all 8 colors, and it's an ebook. I like this because I love having an ebook on my TBR. I like reading ebooks on my Kindle at night, and it's also really convenient to carry around. So let's see what I can find. And ebook. This is super easy because I can pick anything that I'm super excited to read on my Kindle at the moment. And so I'm going to pick The Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. This sounds awesomely fun, if that's even a way to describe a book. This is a standalone science fiction novel. The synopsis is: when COVID-19 sweeps through New York City, Jamie Gray is stuck as a dead-end driver for food delivery apps. That is until Jamie makes a delivery to an old acquaintance, Tom, who works at what he calls an animal rights organization. Tom's team needs a last-minute grunt to handle things on their next field trip. Jamie, eager to do anything, immediately signs on. What Tom doesn't tell Jamie is that the animals his team cares for are not here on Earth. Not our Earth, at least. In an alternate dimension, massive dinosaur-like creatures named Kaiju roam a warm and human-free world. They're the universe's largest and most dangerous panda, and they're in trouble. It's not just the Kaiju Preservation Society who's found their way to the alternate world, others have too, and their carelessness could cause millions back on Earth to die. This sounds fun. Can't wait. And that's it. They're my 8 books for March. I think I have a really nice mix of fantasy and science fiction. All for it. I've got some more light-hearted ones, some heavier ones, some gothic-y ones, and these are the 4 physical books I'm going to read, and then I have the 4 Kindle books, so really nice mix as well. Thank you so much for watching my TBR game. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, take care.